Aloha, I'm Lei Wann. I am a lineal descendant of this valley, Hāʻena, Limahuli Kauaʻi. My ancestors come from this place, and I enjoy making foods from our traditional plants and seaweeds. So I'm going to jump into some recipes today that you can do from home and things you can forage out in our local community. So we're about to make taro burgers, a fun and creative way to use taro. Oftentimes I have an excess of taro, so this is a fun way for my kids and to get them eating more taro in their diet. In order to prep the taro, to cook it, you have to take the raw corm and shoot, and you're gonna look for a line right here called the kohina. Kohina is essentially this line right here that separates the the stalk from the corm, and you're gonna cut about a 1/4 inch below the kohina to separate it. And you got your corm here. It's nice and clean. It's rinsed. It's washed off. This is what we're gonna put in the steamer today and steam. If I wanted to, I could also add the taro leaf to it. But today I'm gonna just stick to using the corm. But to remove the leaves, you would cut them off like so. If you wanted to cook with them, you can cook with the leaves like so. Use these leaves here for any kind of replacement of spinach, or to make laulau or luau stew. You can also cook the haha. It takes a little bit longer. All of these parts are edible. And here's what we call the huli. Huli means to turn. So we turn the cycle, and this is the new cycle of planting. We're going to plant this back into the lo'i, into the taro patch, and there starts the next generation of this plant. And in about 9 to 12 months, we'll be able to harvest this guy again and make something new. I have here my steamer. It's always good to steam taro rather than boil it. And you steam it like so, nice and clean. You could remove the outer kind of layer if you want, or leave it on. Today, I steamed it for about 2.5 hours. Today I left the kind of roots and cover of the corm on. I'm going to remove what we call the ihi, the outer layer. It's best to steam it. It keeps the taro nice and firm, whereas boiling, kind of similar to like a potato, sometimes it gets kind of loose and soggy. I'm going to take off anything that I wouldn't want to eat, essentially. I might rinse it off too in the sink here. Make sure it's nice and clean. If you had a hard time taking off the ihi or the skin, you could use like a little spoon or a small butter knife to help scratch off anything you didn't want to eat. And now we're going to cut through it. It should be nice and soft. If it's not soft, you're going to have to steam it longer. And kind of a good thing to do to make sure you've cooked it long enough is maybe to just try a tiny piece and make sure that you don't have any itch to it. So just break off a piece, taste it. All right, no itch to it. If it has an itch, it needs to go back on for a bit longer. Now, I'm going to cut these into slices about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch small. Here in Hawaii, you can get taro from taro farmers. But if you cannot get in touch with taro farmers, sell taro now at a lot of the local grocery stores and also at our local markets. And sometimes at some of the stores, they're already pre-cooked too. And that taro would be SNAP eligible. So I'm going to throw all this taro in my bowl here. I'm going to move to the next phase, which is adding an egg white. So I'm going to kind of crack your egg. And you want to try and get it in half. So you can kind of release the egg white into the bowl without any shells. If you're not confident, do it over a separate bowl. When you got all your egg white out, like I did, and you could probably give this to your compost pile or use it for something else. All right, and then the next stage is to add carrots to your liking. Just gonna grate it and add it right into the bowl. So we're adding carrots to just add a little more flavor and nutrients. All right. Once you got your carrots in the mix, you're going to add a little bit of finely diced onions. And you can add as much onions as you want. I prefer to add about a quarter to a half of an onion. And I suggest you cut them finely so that it adds to the dish but doesn't overpower with flavor. And I add a bit of Hawaiian salt. Here on our island we make salt. So I'm adding salt from our salt beds. This is handmade by friends of our family every summer when it gets dry enough to make salt here on island. You can see there's kind of two different colors of salt. The red one has what we call alaya in it, which is a little bit of iodine-filled dirt. This salt is really valuable to our people. It has lots of medicinal and cultural uses, such as purifying or cleansing things. It also can be used for sicknesses, sore throats, things like that. You could add other flavors if you want. You could also add other vegetables if you want. I'm going to stop there with just the carrots, onions, and egg whites. And just like you would do a hamburger patty, you're going to take these and really compact them like a hamburger patty. And they feel pretty firm. I'm going to set them on the side. I try to make my patties about the size of a hamburger. I'm gonna put it in a bun just like a hamburger and use it as an alternative to beef. Now, if you didn't want to use a frying pan, you can use a grill or you could even put it in the oven. Got my frying pan here. I like to use coconut oil, a little bit healthier for you than canola or other brands. And I'm going to put my patties on the frying pan just as I hear it start to bubble and I know the pan's getting hot. It should be at a medium to high heat. And you're going to give it about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Or when you can kind of tell that the carrots and the eggs are kind of cooked in there quite a bit. You have a really hot stove. You might have to flip it a little earlier. I'm looking for a little bit of browning on the bottom side, for a little bit of curling in the carrots to show that they've been cooked. Sometimes if I haven't, compressed them together really well, you get kind of like a sloppy Joe style of burger. Got that nice golden color to it. And when they look like they're just about done, put them on a bun. Don't forget to turn your heat off. If you're like my kids, they love cheese on these, so I put a little bit of cheese. You could put all kinds of toppings if you want. It's delicious either way. And there you go. There's your Kalo burgers.